back of a Path of Exile 2 video. This time, no monk, it is a Amazon. Okay, we've gone for the huntress, we've picked the Amazon Ascendancy, and we're currently level 92. Really different in terms of monk. Obviously, it's more of a range build. It took me a long time to understand that I am range, but I have tried every single skill pretty much for the Amazon, from primal strikes, from lightning spear, etc. And so far, the only thing that I feel like is the best one is obviously Twister. Okay, Twister was good in 0.2, it was good in 0.3, and it's still good in 0.4. So, without further ado, let's quickly move on. So, we're sat at level 92 with full resistances other than chaos. We're trying to cap chaos. We only need, what, another 7%. We have got 719 mana, some armor, some evasion, some deflection, etc. etc. Let's go through the skills. So, we have taken Purity of Fire, okay? Purity of Fire comes from a scepter, which I'll go through in a little bit, but we have got Vitality, Cannibalism, Precision, and Clarity. So all these skills allow you to be socketed without costing any spirit. So you've got increased maximum life per second, regen again, precision, and then mana regen as well. Okay, so once this is on, so you can see this aura here, they allow me to have all these four on. Then we've got Whirling Slash. Whirling Slash is socketed on weapon set 1, which allows us to do 4.55 attacks per second. We are using just rapid attacks for this, just to make it a little bit quicker. Okay, so when we can do this, we can move us around the map. We can improve that speed. We plan to improve that speed. I want to make it at least like maybe 6 attacks per second if we can. Twister, we have Blind, Frost Nexus, Freeze, Garakun's Resolve, and Rakiata's Flow. Okay, so what we do with Twister is we hold Whirling Slash, and then we'll let Twisters go off. Twisters do more damage once you use a skill called Barrage, or they do more Twisters once you use Barrage, and you can send out a huge wave of Twisters. Explosive Spear, we go with Rapid Attacks, Elemental Armament, Ignite, Short Fuse, and Azov's Fire. Okay, so what we do with this is when we get near the boss, drop them, let them explode near us to do quite a lot of ignite damage. It should hopefully set them on fire, which then will allow us to the Twisters to pass over and create ignited ground. If it's got a frenzy charge, it seems to create ignited ground, but this is one of the problems with Amazon, the frenzy charge sustain. I have tried multiple times. So far, the best way to do this is through armor break and using resonance to change endurance charges into frenzy charges, because it just cannot hold its frenzy charge sustain. That's why if you look at most of the people that are running a Twister build, they're running it with a Deadeye, or they're running it with a Monk, for instance, an Invoker, because it holds the frenzy charges just so much easier than the Amazon. Then we've got Glacial Lance. Glacial Lance with Elemental Armament, Projectile Acceleration for more attack speed, more projectile speed, Ice Bite, Rapid Attacks, and Tool Stillness. This is convert to chaos damage, so we can do armor break as much as possible. So realistically, we just go around and this hit that. As you can see, it creates like a field around it. Once it's got a frenzy charge, this actually shatters and creates a huge ignition. When you have barrage and frenzy charges, if you have like 6 frenzy charges, you'll see it go and it fire loads and loads of them. It's quite crazy, to be fair. Barrage, we've got this with perpetual charges, 20% chance to be doubled, rapid casting, cooldown recovery, and then Dialis Desire. We've got Dialis Desire because the quality of it is repeat steal 7% more damage. Then we've got Elemental Conflux, which basically gives you random affected elements. This pairs very well with the thing you can see at the bottom here. And we've just got that with Ultra's Exodus. Again, you don't need to have this, it's just because I have them already. So this will give me extra damage. As you can see, I'm doing more lightning damage, and then it'll change. And it might do more cold damage, more fire damage, and then it'll buff your attacks. Herald of Ice, this is what we are using for the armor break. So we've got with armor break 3, armor explosion, Auric Smelting, magnified area, and Ulnatel's Embrace. You need this on here, the 20% chance to gain an endurance charge. 20% chance doesn't sound like a lot, but when you go into a map and you're hitting, I don't know, 10 Twisters that are going all around the area, there's a big chance you're going to get at least a couple of endurance charges, which are then converted into frenzy charges. Herald of Ash, we've got this for Ignite. We've got Magnified Area and Ultra's Omen. Again, you don't need to use Ultra's Omen. I'm just using it because I've got it. It does help and it will improve the damage, but again, you don't really need it. This is just for Ignite Magnitude, so hopefully it can pair with my Twisters, and it's mainly to keep Trinity procced. And then Trinity, we've got this with just with Fire Mastery, just again so we can keep Fire. Seems to be the one that I was struggling with. Lightning I'm perfectly fine with. Right, let's move on to the skills. So as I said, I have Whirling Slash on weapon set 1. I'm just using the Sky Silver. Just the fact that it gives me 2.36 attacks per second, and then I have everything else on weapon set 2. On weapon set 2, I have a Acheron Spear. I have critical hit chance, physical damage, fire, accuracy, critical damage bonus, attack speed, and cold damage. So again, I've got pretty much 2 flat damages: accuracy, which is the fact it's to do with the ascendancy, critical hit chance, attack speed, and critical damage bonus. This was 100 divine. It's not too bad, to be fair. This was my other one, which I can't remember what that was. I think it was like 30 divine. So there's not much difference between this and that, as you can see. Then we've got the Vertex Tribal Mask. This is just with plus 4 to level of all skills, and I've got obviously accuracy rating, because with Amazon, the more accuracy you have, the more your attack scales. These are my rings. They come from a monk. Unfortunately, they are expensive, I'm not going to lie. But these are just flat attack and resist. These are flat attack, resist, and then leech. You've got a amulet with energy shield, projectile skills, attributes, life regen, global defenses, and evasion from equipped body armor. The reason why I picked evasion from equipped body armor is because I'm stuck with which body armor to use. So currently I'm using the Series Splendor. I'm not sure how expensive this is. I can't actually remember, but I've just got this with Chaos Resistance and then the Corrupted skills. So again, I can click these and they will start to increase in damage. I've been trying it with the Armored Vest, but if you look at it, I go down to no energy shield and what is it, like 44% evasion. But again, evasion's one of them things where it's hit and miss. I have been trying it with Coming Calamity and the Cosprey's Will Assassin's Guard, because this gives you Wither, to gives you extra chaos damage, and then you get the Withering Presence. And I've paired it with the Dreaming Gloom, which causes chaos damage equal to the maximum life, which causes huge explosions. And honestly, it's insane. But instead we've gone with the Chicken Wing, the Sacred Flame, and as I said, this is the Purity of Fire. I didn't get an expensive one, I just genuinely got picked up one, whichever one I could find. And again, it's enemies in your presence, elemental damage based on their lowest resistance. So if their lowest resistance is 10, they're going to resist elemental resistance by 10. Not sure how well it works with obviously Rakiata's Flow, but this is only my presence, which is only here. So if it applies to all the Twisters, then Rakiata's Flow might not be doing as much damage as it should be doing. If it doesn't, and obviously the Twisters are off screen, that's when Rakiata's Flow will take over. Just got some energy shield boots with movement speed, fire resist, etc. Effects of socketed items. Ingenuity belt, just running it because I have it. It's very, very good. The fact that it obviously boosts from left and right ring. I've got pretty decent rings, so it's a decent belt. You can use other belts. I was using the Soul Tether belt, which is giving me energy shield recovery rate, so maximum energy shield, and then again life leech applies to it. Gives me more energy shield, and even though it says lose 2.9% maximum life per second, I have on here regenerate 2% of maximum life per second, and then I get 3% of maximum life recovered on kill. So it kind of negates it, if that makes sense. Then we've got some gloves. The +2 to melee skills is kind of pointless, but you can probably run something else if you want to. I don't know, maybe increased evasion and energy shield, maybe something else, I don't know. Like I say, you don't have to get identical to me. The attack speed is very, very good. The critical damage bonus is very, very good. But it's mainly the flat attacks that you ideally want. I do have another set, but they are on my Gyro Monk. Then we've got Olos Resolve, again for the instant recovery and the excess life recovery as guard. Right, let's go through the passive tree, okay? So everything in red is on weapon set 1, which is this weapon over here. Everything in green is on weapon set 2, which is this weapon over here. Okay, so we've taken Predatory Instinct, which basically reveals weakness. So you'll see on their health, you'll see like a block that's blocked out. That's the weakness, and you gain 50% more damage with an open weakness. And then we've got 20% more movement speed while the enemy with an open weakness is in your presence. And again, 40% skill speed while open weakness is in your presence. But the problem is presence is a 4-meter radius. So this is decent for bossing, but any enemies that are away from you, it doesn't do as... it's not as effective realistically. I feel like Amazon needs a bit of a rework in terms of its ascendancy. Then we've got critical strike. Critical hit chance with attacks can exceed 100%. You gain additional critical hit equal to 25% of the excess chance to hit with attacks. Then we've got penetrate. Attacks using your weapon have added physical damage equal to 25% of the accuracy that's on the weapon. So that's why you can see here that I've got a weapon with accuracy on it. Right, so we've taken Primal Instinct for more attack speed, Stalk and Leap for more melee damage if you dealt a projectile hit, and then more projectile damage if you dealt a melee hit. Playing around with this, I feel like this might be the better one, the increased accuracy rating again, but this gives you 10% extra damage here, so it's kind of like these 3 nodes will be better than these 3 nodes. Then we come down here, and like I said, we'll swap to weapon set 1. We've got Precision Salvo, which gives me more projectile speed, more attack speed, and more accuracy rating. Possibly going to change that to weapon set 2, or just in general weapon sets. Then we've taken Splinters, which give me 30% increased stun build-up, and then the break 50% increased armor. Remember, we want to break armor as much as possible. And we'll come down here, we've got Favor, which gives me frenzy charges, and Shattering, which gives me freeze and chill build-up. The reason for this is because I was trying to do it with Combat Frenzy, but Combat Frenzy is nerfed significantly. So yes, you might froze a certain amount of enemies, but because it's only like over 4 or 5 seconds, you just don't get the frenzy charges, unfortunately. Then we've got Catalyst with increased elemental damage, Stand and Deliver, which gives you more damage bonus within 2 meters, and they do increased damage of hits within 2 meters. I'm probably going to take these when I start to level up, and take the ones that give me more damage against them further away. So it means my projectiles do more damage as well. Weapon set 2, we've got Maiming Strike for more attack damage and then chance to maim. Remember, maim is they slow the movement down and reduce the evasion. Then we come down here, and we've taken Wildcat for some deflection equal to 10% of the evasion rating. We haven't got a lot of evasion rating, but it's more than plus 10 to dexterity that helps as well. Then we've got Acceleration for more movement speed and skill speed. Focus Thrust for more melee damage with spears while surrounded, but you get the 40% increased projectile damage when there are no enemies within 3 meters, so there's no enemies in your presence. Spear damage, and then accuracy, and then again damage and attack speed. Then we've taken Falcon Dive for more attack speed and more attack speed per 400 accuracy, up to 20%. So you can see on my twisters, for instance, I have 3,860 accuracy. Then we come down here, and we've got From Nothing, because obviously this is for the Dance with Death, which allows us to allocate all these without spending loads and loads of skill points. Unfortunately, we have to spend the ones here, but we can allocate these for next to nothing. Come up here, we're taking Coming Calamity for more, well, basically increased damage. If we've got Herald of Ash, Herald of Ice, Herald of Thunder. So as you can see, we've taken Herald of Ice and Herald of Ash. So there we go. Then we come up here, that's the Favor, which is coming from the Jolt. Then we've taken the crit nodes up here for extra lightning damage. Sorry, critical hit chance, critical damage bonus, and then again, chance to crit. We've got Fable Stag for increased duration and plus the dexterity. And all these are being powered by my extra lightning and extra chaos damage. This is what I've taken from my Chayula. It causes some big explosions. You probably don't need to have this. Again, we could probably play around with the crit nodes and maybe look at some projectile nodes, but if you look at all the projectiles, quite a lot of them end up being down here, which is really annoying. So you've got some projectile damage over here, more aimed at, obviously, the mercenary. Then we've taken Material Solidification, which gains 8% of damage as extra physical damage, and then again increase the effect of broken armor. This is on weapon set 2, so increase the effect of broken armor. Remember to split between your weapon sets. It gives you a lot to play with. Then we've got frenetic, which gives me frenzy charges and get an additional frenzy charge. These also won here as well, which get increased evasion if you consumed a frenzy charge recently, and that gives you 20% more as well. And this gives you more duration. So there's quite a bit there. There's 40% duration and 50% evasion, which is pretty good. Then we've taken Agile Succession on weapon set 1. Again, this gives me evasion if I've hit an enemy, and it gives me more attack speed. Blinding Strike, which gives me more attack damage and a chance to blind with attacks on hit. We've got Flow State for more skill speed and more regen. That means that I can sit here and just spam that. Then we've taken attacks for more attack damage. Then we have a Controlled Metamorphosis Diamond. We've got it on a medium to large ring. And we have taken Finesse, which gives me more accuracy rating, and again intelligence equal to my accuracy. Conservative Casting, which gives me more mana regen rate. Dizzying Sweep, which gives me more attack area damage. For the Jugular and True Strike, which gives me intelligence and dexterity, and they also give me critical hit chance and critical damage bonus. Event Horizon, which gives me 53% increased chaos damage, which causes big explosions. Chakra of Thought, which gives me more attack speed when not on low mana. Kite Runner, which gives me more movement speed, more projectile speed, and more projectile damage. And then Distracted Target for 30% increased critical hit chance against blinded enemies. Then we've taken a weapon set 1, we've taken tenfold attacks for more attack speed. And then ideally, this is just for the strength, but ideally this is only 7% more attack speed. And again, it's more attack speed if you've been hit recently. We're trying not to get hit. So realistically, we could probably remove that and put that somewhere else in terms of weapon set 1. So we can look at maybe some evasion or something like that. Then we've got Stylebender, which hits break 30% increased armor with the ailments, and again it gives you more physical damage because we are trying to armor break. We're trying to break as much armor as possible. The more armor we can break, the more chance we have frenzy charges. Then we come back around, we come up here, we've got Thin Ice, which gives me 50% increased damage with hits against frozen enemies. This is very, very good if you when you come to bossing. So if you look at here, you can put, if you want to, you can put freeze on Glacial Lance. If you put freeze on Glacial Lance, okay, so that's its chance to freeze there, 308%, and then if you swap it, and let's say just put this on, it gives it 512% chance to freeze. So what you can do is you can freeze the bosses, which means that you have an extra 50% increased damage. If you do your twister beforehand, so like sit here the boss, twist around him, do that freezes him. By the time your twisters come back round, okay, it's going to hit the boss for increased damage. And obviously 50% is a huge increase. Then weapon set 1, we've got a Basement and Mirage, which gives me thresholds. And then finally we've got a Heart of the Well, which gives me extra cold, extra chaos, extra critical hit chance and critical damage bonus. So anyway, that has been the passive tree. It's been a lot of work around. I have been trying multiple different things. As you can see in here, there's loads of stuff. And if you look into my skills and my gems, it's pretty much nearly full because I've been trying multiple different skills to figure out the best way possible. I have also tried, for instance, I have tried Thunderous Leap. That's not too bad, but if you get stuck in the air, it's a little bit annoying. I've tried Primal Strikes. I've even tried putting Bloodhound's Mark on and everything like that. But this seems to be the best way to consistently generate frenzy charges and consistently generate a huge explosion in the map. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I will have Ritualist out pretty soon because I'm going to change ascendancy from Amazon to Ritualist. There'll be 2 videos coming out. One of them will involve a spear, one of them will not. Anyway, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Stay safe and peace.